That feels good to
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Let's do it.
That would be phenomenal.
Okay.
Go ahead and unmute yourselves. And 3, 2, 1. Pitch.
According to a 2019 study, there is a worldwide average of 144 minutes spent every single day on social media alone. That's just on social media. And as of 2020, that number has undoubtedly gone up since quarantine and everything has gotten started. So if you have something that you want to share, a business that you're trying to get hyped up, you need to know how to slay at social media marketing. So let's dive right in. First off, y'all need to know, why is mindful social media marketing important? Well, 77.6% of small businesses have reported using social media to promote their businesses. That is well above halfway. And if there's so many small businesses that are out there and that are trying to promote their content via social media, that means that everything that you put out there needs to absolutely kick butt. You need to make sure that you stand out, and that you get your mission statement across, that people see why you're special and what you can offer them. As we guide you through this presentation, we would love for you to keep in mind 3 different social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Each of them have very specific and unique differences that can help launch your business. For example, Instagram, great at visual storytelling. There's over 700 million monthly users on that platform. It has one of the best platforms for hashtag use, and also it helps you build connections with like-minded followers. Facebook is also amazing. Facebook ads and Facebook Market, Facebook groups. There's tons of different ways that you can reach out to people. Also, 68% of adults in the US reported using Facebook. So you have a huge variety in age groups there that you would probably not be getting from Instagram. And then LinkedIn, there are over 575 million professionals that have been using LinkedIn. What you can use LinkedIn for, besides just looking professional and clean cut, is there are lots of opportunities for business to business connections and transactions on that website. It's basically the Facebook for businesses. You can also follow other businesses and they will post things there that they are more likely than not going to post other places. So it's a great way to get inside your competitors' heads and also just get a little bit of feedback from people who have similar goals as you. All right, take it away, Amelia.
Okay, so this is our little how-to guide on using some certain steps for how you can improve your social media. So our first step is to get to know your customers, so finding your target market. So a first tip that we have is to compile all your data on your existing customers. So look at the demographics of people who already are engaging with your content and put those in a list and see if you can find any similarities. And then going off of that, research other platforms that your existing customers are already active on. So if you're looking specifically on Instagram, look on Facebook to see if that similar type of audience is also active within your industry. Then next would be to use social listening. So social listening means that you are listening to conversations about your business or industry, even if those specific people don't currently follow you. So that can be done by like monitoring keywords or monitoring hashtags, just things like that. And it can also bring to the surface more relevant hashtags and things like that that you can be using in your advantage. And then look at your competition. If they are getting some more engagement with certain like hashtags again, look at those, see if you can use that to your advantage and use them on your own social media pages. And then finally, understand what your audience is looking for on your social media. Is your product or service helping them reach their goals? Is it making their life easier? And is that what they want to see from your social media page? And is that the content that they are want to seeing? And if you come to that answer as yes, you can definitely include that in your content that you're posting on your social media pages. All right, and then for step 2, we have connect with the audience that you just found. So a couple tips we have for that would be to ask for your audience's opinions, and you can use that through like captions. And if you have a bunch of information in a caption, finish it off with a question in order to get them to engage with your comment section a little bit more, or put polls in like your Instagram stories just so your audience has a way to engage with your content instead of just looking at it. And then show your customers appreciation. Showing your customers appreciation overall makes your customers more happy, and it also gives you a competitive advantage over your competition as well. And so that overall can just help boost your engagement as well if your audience knows that they are appreciated. And then implement feedback. If you're asking for feedback from your consumers that you are currently reaching, make sure that you take it into consideration and actually implement it if it is good feedback, because there's no point in asking for feedback if you're not even going to look at it or use it. And then solve issues promptly and professionally. If one of your clients or consumers brings an issue or a question to your attention, make sure you solve it very quickly and promptly right away, because the faster you solve it or answer their question, the more they will be likely to keep engaging with your content or keep purchasing things from you, things like that, because it'll make them feel like you actually care that they're engaging with you and purchasing things from you. And then use video in your content. It can just bring a whole new way that you can express and demonstrate your product or services. And it's just very unique, and also it just makes the audience feel more connected with you. And then give your audience an inside look, and that's a great way to use video, is that it can just give them like insight into your processes, the passion you put into your work, and just make them feel overall more connected, which will help you connect with your audience a bit more.
Awesome. All right. Step 3, develop brand recognition. This is so important. If you have an idea or a product or business or something, anything that you want to get out there, you are not going to be anywhere near successful if you do not have an awesome brand. Um, Something that having a solid brand does is it gives your buyers confidence in the experience that they're going to have. When buyers go out and they make a purchase, they're seeking out something very specific. It could be a specific feeling or taste or quality. Like if someone goes out to buy a can of Campbell's soup, they're looking out for a specific taste. Um, Confidence and experience comes from individuals' private or personal experiences, or it can come from word of mouth of friends and people hyping up that business, and so others are out willing to go and try it. Also, something that brands offer us are value to our individual image. Identity can express a lot about who we are, or it can show desired personality traits we want to have. Certain brands like can tell you a lot about a person depending on how you look at it. Like, are you an iPhone or an Android user? Like, depending on what people have, you might think differently about them. Brands also give customers a reason to share. Humans are hardwired to share good news. We love sharing our positive experiences. And when we have a really great connection with a business, we become advocates for them. So if you have a strong brand, it gives them something to share, and it makes it so much easier for them to say, oh, I bought this great shirt from a random website. No, I bought this great shirt from Pendleton.com, like that is just so much easier to send someone out to. And then one of the most important things about brand recognition is it helps develop customer loyalty. That's basically just an emotional attachment to a brand. If you've ever gone to a restaurant and you've asked if they have Coke products, and then the waiter says, oh, I'm so sorry, we only have Pepsi products. If you watch the person who asked for Coke, their face will fall. Like, people have so much love and so many attachments that they have to certain brands because they're providing safety and trust, and you're knowing exactly what you're getting when you offer some of those brands. So having that like strong branding, very important. Here are a couple very well-known brands, and I just want you guys to take a look at them. Notice colors and shapes that they've used. Even if you guys took away the wording, the lettering, and you just saw the shapes and the colors, there's a very good chance you would already know exactly what these belong to because the branding is so strong. So going off of that last slide, step 4, you got to choose some color schemes / aesthetics. So something really awesome about choosing the right colors for your branding is that color can boost brand recognition by as much as 80%. And also 60% of the time, people decide whether they're attracted to a message or not completely based on the color. So it's very important that you pick the color that you want to represent your company or your brand. Different colors can mean totally different things. Like Starbucks is green because they choose something rejuvenating and kind of peaceful. And Coca-Cola can be red because it's passionate and it's excited. And so there's a lot that you can convey in your message behind just the colors you use. Similar with filters and fonts, actually, also. You can create an overall look that will help tie your page together. And depending on the filters and fonts you use, it can help create a structured look depending on the aesthetic. Like Instagram, one of the best examples, depending on how people have laid out their Instagram pages, you see the colors and the certain aesthetics that they've picked, it can add a completely different vibe to that page. And then it also creates personality, and it brings your ideal energy that you want to your page. If you're seeking out a very specific target audience, then choosing the right colors and aesthetics can help you connect with those people directly. So all very important things when looking on how to brand and frame your social media pages.
All right, and then step 5, direct and boost your virtual traffic. So, a couple of steps we have for that would be to inspire your audience with visuals, as Tori just got done talking about, just all of the colors, and create engaging and strong content so that your pages will stand out to new viewers. And then make your content easily shareable. And that just means that if someone comes across your content, wants to share it to someone else, make sure that it can be easily translatable and can share well. And so that can just also be a great access point for word of mouth marketing as well. And then next, improve your SEO. So SEO is search engine optimization. And so boosting that can improve your online visibility, generate more sales and leads, strengthen your brand's authority and domain, connect with your direct audience, and increase your social media practice. So overall, just does a bunch of good things. You can use things like Google Analytics and just other platforms like that in order to have your specific business and improve it for you personally. And then know when your audience is listening. So it's very important to know when your audience is listening, how often they check certain social media platforms, things like that. And because the more you reach them and more you engage with them, just the more traffic you'll get to your pages. So some guidelines I found would be to post on Facebook 3 to 10 times a week, post on Instagram 1.5 times a day. So that just means like a post and maybe an Instagram story, and post on LinkedIn 2 to 5 times a week. So those are just some general guidelines for those specific platforms that have come to the surface. And then research your competitors. And so that can also go back into know when your audience is listening. If your competitors post a certain amount of times a day and they're getting a bunch of engagement, you can really use that to your advantage as well to drive up your virtual traffic. And then finally, continuously engage with your audience. Only 11% of people receive replies from brands on social media, and only 1 in 3 people will go to a competitor if they are ignored by a brand. So making sure that you are continuously engaging with your audience, whether that be answering questions or complaints, or overall just engaging through like questions and things like that, is very important so that you can get the business and the recognition for your brand. All right, and then step 6, we have advertisements and algorithms. So on here, I'll be talking about the types of ads. And so these are just a few of them, but video ads, those can be great for like demonstrating your product and showing your consumers exactly what you're doing or showing how your services work. And we have photo ads, and that's just your general, like a couple of photos and usually a longer caption explaining exactly what you are doing. Then we have ads and explore, and those are a little bit more unique because they are targeted to people who are specifically going on the explore page to find new content to engage with. And so they can really find more of a audience who are willing to engage with new content. And then we have ads in your stories, and those are really good for like in the moment marketing because they only last for 24 hours. So they're really handy for launching products or doing flash sales, overall ads like that. And then collection ads would be a collection of those, meaning you can have a couple of videos or a couple of photos all in one specific ad. And so they target all of the demonstrations and then can have some information in there as well. Then as far as algorithms go, you want to work with the algorithms and not against the algorithms. And so we can give you a couple tips by optimizing your post timing, figure out what times of day that your audience are most active on these platforms, ask questions and encourage comments, tag other accounts in your posts, even tagging on the right hashtags that are really popular within the industry that you're currently working in, and determine publishing frequency. And that can go back to looking at how many times a day that you should be posting on specific platforms as well. And all of these will just help increase your engagement. And when you increase your engagement on platforms, it just helps the algorithm favor you and serve your content first to your following.
Mhm. Awesome. All right. And then step 7, promote thoughtful content. And what I mean by thoughtful content is it's when you've taken time to choose your photos or write your caption or your post or whatever you're putting out there, you've taken time to assess who am I speaking to with this? Why do they need to hear this? And why do I feel a need to share this? It'll help you connect with your ideal clients, first off. More than your target market, your ideal client is that dream boss essentially. It's more than just, oh, who's the general, what is the general group I'm serving? It's like if I could have one person hire me, or if I could have one person buy my offering, what would I want them to look like? What would I want them to get out of it? What would be the best possible thing for them? So thoughtful content really helps you connect with those people. It also keeps you grounded. Sometimes it can be hard to navigate which directions you want to go on your pages. And so having that time to just really assess what you want to put out into the world, it can just help keep you reminded of why you started in the first place. Really helpful. Thoughtful content also can give you an overall polished look. When people go onto your page, they want to see that you've really practiced what you preach. You know, you're looking professional and clean cut. Very important. And then it'll help strengthen your mission statement. if people look on your websites or your social media platforms and it's messy, they're not going to believe in you. They're not going to want to hire you. They're not going to believe that you care. You need to show them that you care. And above all, make it worth everybody's time. If you put thoughtful intent into writing captions or photos that you're really proud of, it will show. People will look at your ads, and even if they don't connect with that, I think everyone has taken time to look at an ad and say, wow, that was really well done. Or wow, I really like the colors that they use in that. Or what a great thoughtful statement they put in there. It will matter to them, and it should matter to you. Um, and then step 8, just stick with it. Social media is literally, it's user friendly, it's accessible, it's free unless you want to pay for ads. It's developed for you. It is so easy for everybody to utilize. So don't be afraid to get in there and get your hands dirty. And don't be afraid to generate conversation on your social media platforms. Even if you get feedback that's a little bit hard for you to hear, just know that it's making you stronger. And then above all, just be willing to make mistakes. It's okay to forget certain times to post. It's okay to mess up with the algorithm. It'll happen. And that's all part of your growing and learning process. So it is a-okay. And then last but not least, if you guys want examples, please feel free to check out our Instagrams. Mine is Wildwave Photography and Amelia is the AJZ Art Studio. And we both have worked hard to implement these tips and tactics on our pages. So please feel free to check those out. Give them a follow. Amelia's got some good art on her page. And yeah, thank you guys so much for listening.
Woo!
Thanks, guys.
Sweet. Yeah. Did you guys, maybe I should leave that last one up in case anyone wants to pull out their phone. And then are there any questions?
I have a question. I'm curious, I'd love for you guys to elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by generating conversation on your social media platforms. Like, what does that look
Yeah.
like?
Absolutely. Also, we went through a lot of stuff. So if you guys want us to go back and look at anything, yeah, please feel free to ask that. Amelia, do you want to take that one or do you want me to take it?
You can go ahead and take it. It was on the stick with it
Okay,
slide, I think.
awesome. So generating conversation, that can be anything as simple as asking a question in your captions. That can be working on adding polls to your stories, anything that encourages user engagement. It's asking them to answer a question or encourages them to get involved with you and your page somehow. Does that make sense? It can be really simple. It's not a ton of elaborate stuff, but it does take some planning ahead. Cool, good question.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
How many times was it? Because you went through like the frequencies that you would want to like post on different platforms.
Oh yeah, the little guidelines that I'd mentioned. Sorry, I went through those kind of fast, but I just found these and it was 3 to 10 times on Facebook a week. It was 1.5 times a day for Instagram, and then it was on LinkedIn 2 to 5 times a week.
What is
If
that?
you need me to repeat that, I will.
You put 2 to 5 times on LinkedIn,
Yes.
and then 1.5 times a day. What does that look like? Is that
On
like
Instagram, like a post a day, and then maybe a story or just things like that, like 3 stories, just staying more active as like posting goes.
okay?
I'd probably say like a post a day and then just multiple stories, but like baseline would be like 1 story a day.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I have a
Thanks.
question.
Yeah.
It's kind of 2 questions in one, but if you were just starting a page for a venture, what would be first priority type of posts? And then going along with that, if you have any suggestions for things that we could implement today to get our pages more engaging.
Yeah. I'll take this one, Amelia. So something when you're just starting out, something that's really valuable on different pages, especially Instagram, is you can make drafts of posts and you can look ahead and kind of see what it will sort of look like when you have it all laid out. something that I did when I started my photography company, I made my first post about my website. And that was one thing that I wish I would have done. I only have one post. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it's one post and it does not look good on the page, but it's okay. I left it there because it's a nice mistake and I'm proud of it. But if you take time to, because you know how on Instagram it posts in layers of 3. So taking time to look ahead at when people go on your page and they're scrolling through, if you have maybe like a certain theme per level, like one theme could be here's our website, or here is our product, like our main product, or like it's okay if I ask which project is it with the documentaries that you do?
I've actually pivoted this quarter, and I'm doing something with one-on-one mentoring for day trading stocks.
Oh, awesome. Then something really helpful to do is just introducing yourself, like get your face out there within your first couple posts so people see, especially because you're a mentor, so people see who they're going to be working with. Um, and then maybe if you have a company motto or something that like you really strongly believe in, that should of course go in your bio. That would be something absolutely to put in your first couple posts. And if you want people to get like user engagement, sometimes if you use certain hashtags, if you tag other businesses or other companies that are similar to what you want to offer in your post, or sometimes if you find other accounts that you might want to collaborate with, that can always be something beneficial. And you can say, hey, is it okay if we do a trade? Like, I'd love to share one of your posts if you would share one of mine, something like that. Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. That was really helpful.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
I'm so
I can add one little thing to it too. Look at like if you find other mentors that like do something similar, like look at their pages and see like the kind of things that like they're posting, like what times they're posting, how frequently they're posting, or even like looking at what hashtags they're using. And if they get good engagement, like if you pay attention to that kind of stuff, it can help you figure out like where to go in your own direction.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. These are great questions. I'm so excited that we got to talk more.
I have a question.
What's up?
So, since algorithms are always like changing so much, what is like your advice on, the stuff you put on your slides, and what is like something that is super useful in terms of algorithms, like for long term that you know of?
Mm-hmm.
I can take that one. I would say that overall algorithms just generally favor engagement. So it's like if you engage with a certain account on Instagram really often, you'll notice that their accounts tend to pop up first on your feeds when you refresh it. And so if you just make sure that you're like doing your best to keep your customers engaged and like them commenting and stuff, it'll automatically just help your account be favored. But I think also if you're just like generally doing research, like Instagram and stuff are always releasing like articles and things like that about algorithms. So I think if you're keeping up with that as well and like just doing research to keep up with it changing, I think that could just be like a great thing to implement as well.
Mm-hmm.
Algorithms
Also,
are complicated too.
they
So
are. Sometimes it also pays if you look on certain social media's websites, they will have descriptions of their latest updates and what the algorithms might favor. Sometimes Instagram is a little iffy, but it's always worth a shot. And then if you have a business account, specifically on any of these, and I guess especially Instagram or Facebook, they will tell you about like how people found your page. There's some more insights that they offer if you have a specific type of professional account.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tori and Amelia, if folks have more questions, can they message you on Teams?
Of course.
Sweet.
Thank you guys. That was awesome.